众，我们的活动即将在1分钟后开场呢。请后面的观众朋友尽速入席，手机也请帮我调到静音以及震动模式，谢谢。大家早，很辛苦，我在礼拜天的早上要来到这边听一个其实有点严肃的题目，但我相信所有在台湾的朋友们都会非常关心半导体制造业未来10年的重要趋势。我是科技报局的总主笔玉宁，欢迎大家今天早上来到2019年未来科技展的论坛。今天我们的题目要来谈半导体，谈制造业。为什么在未来科技展里面，我们会谈一个听起来不是那么新、那么炫的一个题目？其实半导体行业在过去的10到20年之间，影响大家非常的多。我刚刚看了一下，每个人手上坐在这边都低着头看着你的手机，手机里面有非常多的这个技术跟运作，没有半导体技术是没有办法发展的。那在2019年的今天，为什么我们要在未来科技展里面用这么大的一个篇幅来谈半导体呢？因为有一个重要的技术跟重要的趋势，即将在2020年来到我们的生活里面。一个是5G， 一个是 AI， 这2个在明年会有非常相当程度的落实跟整合。这样子的市场变化，也会对半导体产业带来非常大的冲击。而这个冲击就是台湾市场一定要面对，我们也不得不面对。甚至我知道在业界有非常多的人是很兴奋的期待这样的一个变化的。有个数字分享给大家知道，如果我们去看过去电脑跟手机的时代，半导体的行业它的产值在整个 PC 个人电脑跟手机的时代里面，产值大概占总产值的大概20%到30%。但是到了5G 跟 AI 的时代，半导体在整个行业的产值里面，它会成长到40%到50%。这个数字是国际研究机构所发现的一个数字，而且他们也谈到，这个比例有可能比我们现在预估的还要来得更高。也就是说，半导体其实在过去我们会认为好像走到了摩尔定律的终点，好像它在发展上面台湾来到了一个产业的瓶颈，但事实上，当所有的应用市场开始发生快速的转变，当人工智慧的应用快速的转速的成长跟变化的时候，其实台湾正在面临一个全新的机会。那这样的机会，我们可能可以分2个层面来看。第一个是市场成长的非常的快速，而且这个市场的机会是我们过去没有办法想象的。今天我们在论坛里面会来谈这个机会，同时我们也会思考，因为台湾是全球半导体产制的流程里面，整个供应链里面非常重要的角色。当这样的角色应用到 AI 的技术的时候，我们的制程、我们的产品又会发生什么样的变化？2个小时的论坛，我们前面会有1个小时的演讲，来跟大家分享全世界的重要趋势、重要的 insight。后面1个小时，我们用 panel 的方式，用论坛的方式来跟大家讨论，看看未来有哪些重要的问题，我们应该要思考；有哪些重要的挑战，我们应该要理解；有哪些重要的机会，我们一定要把握。那接下来，我们就进入今天论坛的第1场的 keynote 的时间。我们非常高兴能够从国外邀请到 ARM 市场行销的副总裁 Ian Smythe， 他今天会来跟我们谈，在5G 跟 AI 这样的结合趋势之下，世界的半导体长期的发展趋势是什么？透过这样的趋势，我们希望能够看看我们怎么样看待这个市场的机会，怎么样思考台湾的未来。那接下来我们就把时间交给 Ian。Let's welcome Ian.
Thank you. I need that one. Morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to this event. I'm very pleased to be here. New technology is enabling new experiences in a different way than ever, at a faster way than ever before. And this innovation is being extended to support technology for good across a range of applications, from healthcare, local challenges in the world's poorest regions. And ARM is at the heart of all of the technology advance that we're seeing today in this new era of compute. Before I delve into the detail of what ARM is about, let me just give a little introduction to ARM. 70% of the world's population approximately use ARM's technology every day. Whether it's in your handset, whether it's in your home devices, whether it's in a small sensor in the car that you drive, or in the agriculture in the fields that your farmers use, this technology powered by ARM is ubiquitous. And we're very proud of that. But what we see is this advancing intelligence moving from the cloud, where AI has grown up, if you like, all the way through the edge, right to the endpoint. And there are some key technology points and inflection points that we really care about. So how do we do on-device learning? How do we deliver compute performance? How do we ensure that everything is secure and private? So these are technology issues that we really care about. But just thinking about how we think about ARM, we see us as a global leader in the development of licensable technology, essentially outsourcing a lot of the R&D for around the compute complex for the semiconductor companies, which gives them who can be focused on freedom and the flexibility to innovate. And we have a real strong focus on a partnership model. And these are the numbers. We have over 1,600 licensees, 150 billion ARM-based chips have shipped to date. And last year, our partnership, including many of the semiconductor companies that we would expect to be based in this region, shipped over 22 billion units. However, in order to achieve all of this and get our IP into this range of technology, we see this change of computing. We're seeing something we term the fifth wave of compute, which we think is a drastic change in how compute will be delivered in the future. If we look, we can see the rise of AI influencing all of tomorrow's compute. We can see the change in delivery and connection around 5G, which is leading to edge compute and improvements there. And the drive for IoT increases the amount of data in the world. It changes the way that data is perceived within the infrastructure. So this data-driven world is something that we see. And for me, the future will be increasingly reliant on the performance gains that are given by far greater optimization across the entire compute system. And you can see this theme, this will be repeated throughout this presentation, of how it's not just one problem that we're solving. We're trying to solve for a whole degree of workloads. AI and IoT are driving that need for tightly coupled performance and a focus on where that compute intelligence runs. It needs to run more efficiently on device or more powerfully in the network and the cloud. We have the ambition to support all of those applications. What we're seeing is the IoT moving towards maturity as a new wave of IoT device emerges. And 5G is beginning to scale. And I want us to think today about the opportunities that are going to be involved in creating compute that delivers in all of this opportunity. Now, as I said, there's compute challenges ahead, and they're across pretty much every sector. And with every challenge, there's an opportunity. So whether it's autonomous driving, whether it's edge or cloud servers, whether we're looking at different forms of wearables or VR technology, or even the evolution of the smartphone as we know it, there is increased demand for compute, and there is still the challenge of doing that on a more efficient way. Firstly, there's the mobile envelope where we have to think about the power and the battery life, but then in the data center, we're talking about the power again in terms of the megawatts that these data centers control and trying to improve the efficiency there. Here we go. Next slide. So these are a whole range of new opportunities, but there are also a bunch of challenges associated with them. We can see here the rise of AI. That's great, but what that leads to is a range of how do we deliver that compute into our devices, into our everyday devices. And what we see is the rise in the silicon of domain-specific computing, where we have different compute elements targeted for energy efficiency to provide different capabilities for each area of compute. This makes real sense on a practical point of view because it helps us address the challenge of ever-scaling process complexity as we move down the lower scales of process, right, from 7 to 5 to 4 and beyond. We can see that that's going to become more difficult to deliver. The devices themselves are changing in terms of form factor innovation, and we can see things like foldable handsets happen, and new devices launched in new areas like the Surface Pro X, which is an ARM-based Windows PC that was launched a few weeks ago. So the tech ecosystem needs to be ready for this next generation of content. Delivered more efficiently, distributed well across the whole of the compute platform. It's essentially, we have to think about how we humanize technology. There's a whole range of change that we've been through to deliver this immersive technology over the last decade as we move from browsing on a computer through to communicating via phone and separate aspects of mobile, through a whole wave of health-inspired add-ons for connectivity, into what's coming next, which is a huge range of immersive technology capabilities, where the smartphone is quite likely the hub, although many other companies would dispute that. But right now, the prevalence of that device to me says that's what it is. And what's enabling a lot of this compute is the AI. So what we have in AI is something that's grown up in the cloud with the whole creation of a whole new design paradigm around what can be done with deep learning in the cloud, and that's now moving out towards the edge. We can see the rise of AI at the edge, and I'll talk more about that a bit later, and even AI at the endpoints, and we'll cover that a bit later. The key points here are that at the heart of this is how do we deliver as we shift from creation of models and deep and learning all the way to inference. How do we deliver the right compute at the right place, at the right efficiency? Now, at the heart of all AI compute is actually still the CPU. So that's the green here. And we did a survey of all the developers, about 400 developers from a vast range of sectors across mobile, automotive, industrial, and healthcare. And most of the AI computation in their designs today is being done on the CPU. It's interesting to see the NPU, right, the neural processor in blue, eating away at the heart of the task-specific cores. And we can see that the GPU is also being used with FPGA. This is likely to continue. And this is what I mean in terms of domain-specific computing. This is what's going to happen. But today, the CPU is still the main AI device. We see the emergence of a huge number of startups looking at how to deliver AI at the edge. But right now, it's a software story, and most of that software is running on the CPU. So 85% of the world's smartphones run ML on only the CPU or the CPU and GPU combined. And I think what you can see is that ML is creating this whole new opportunity for lots of different use cases. One of them that I like to talk about is visual search as AI at the edge. And the demand for more powerful compute is being accelerated by this. So, truly challenging. Visual search is really hard. When you wave your phone at something and it happens to tell you exactly what it is, and then you click the button and away it goes and it tells you, hey, this is Type A 101, and it tells me everything that I need to know about Type A 101. So the first big challenge for us is, how do you meet that ever-increasing demand in what more capable compute can do for the world? Now, that's what's available pretty much today. What's the next step? Well, one of the next steps that we have surveyed our consumers for, particularly in mobile, is how can we do real-time feature extraction and delivery for video in real time? So how can we create an image in real time that says, I'm here when I'm not? So how can I put myself in front of Type A 101? And to do all this requires some serious processing on device. Earlier this year, I presented at Semicon in September, and we showed a video that we created which had me green screened around the world. And how do we do this overlay on a mobile device requires us another level in compute. We really have to change the way we take, the approach we take to solving the problem in order to be able to deliver the efficiency, to deliver the level of compute that's required to do this in a portable device. And what we will end up with is this live streaming video, an overlay of me wherever in the world I need to be, and in this case, it's Type A 101. Now, one of the things that we see in mobile is, yes, this is happening. We have demands from customers in our world, from the phone manufacturer OEMs saying, how can we deliver this in the time available? But the smartphone is just one device in which the new experiences will be delivered. There is the rise of augmented reality. And I just would like to show you a video around AR in terms of how AR is possible, because when I talk about how do we deliver digital immersion, that computing requirement is going to be hugely intensive and require a whole set of standards, right? It has to understand the real world, has to be able to deliver media on top, has to be secure, has to be private, we have to understand our identity, and it might need some new comms standards. But this is what might be possible. I find that video really entrancing because it looks like some kind of movie, but we genuinely believe that that kind of capability can be built into terminals and technology by taking the approaches that we're talking about. And we can do that together, and we can accelerate the technology growth in all of these areas: HD gaming, smartphone, and untethered VR. These are key areas for the future for the businesses that we see here, and the semiconductor companies in Taiwan, and the OEMs around us. Now, how we solve that from an ARM perspective is something we call total compute. So we understand, we believe, how we have to develop intellectual property, which is then delivered into the semiconductor vendors, which then finds its way into devices, and then finds its way into your hands. And what we have to do in the future is understand how we solve the problem, not just from a CPU perspective, not just from a GPU perspective, not even from an AI perspective. We have to look at the problem. We have to understand how we create intellectual property that solves for the use case. And that means we have to look at the boundary conditions. We have to understand how IP interacts. We have to understand the path to memory. We have to understand how all of those influence each other so that we can solve for the workloads of tomorrow. And this total compute approach is something that we're adopting. You'll see it in our IP in around 2022. But that's how far ahead we're having to think today to deliver those solutions for 22-25. Now, this approach is based on 3 pillars. Okay? We want to do 3 things really importantly. Firstly, we care greatly about compute performance. We see the demands for that compute performance going up, but we don't see is the power budget going up. We see it coming down, whether that's, as I said earlier, whether that's the battery life of your phone or whether that's the power that you'll need in a data center. The second pillar is security. We know we need security in all our devices. We have to create a foundation, so we've invested in something we call the platform security architecture to start this. And the third thing is about software developers, because with domain-specific computing, how do you provide access to all of that additional performance that goes beyond the CPU, when most developers are focused purely on their native development environment? So how do we solve the problems for them in that way? So let's take a look at some of the work that we've been doing inside ARM to improve the CPU performance on ML, just briefly. And this trend is something that I think you will see across the industry. This is not just ARM. The focus on performance in the CPU, whatever architecture it is going to be on improving the ML performance. And here we can see the ARM roadmap. So we have a CPU product range which we call Cortex. The latest one that we have publicly announced is Cortex A77. The roadmap has some code names. Hercules is the next one, and Matterhorn is the 2021 IP. And you can see that we're offering 10 times the performance of the Cortex A73, which is something that was in the smartphones of today, within a couple of years. So that trend is really important to us as to how we move that forward. The second pillar is about security. And I think here we have a strong belief that security is everything. The amount of data we secure in our handsets every day is astonishing. Whether that's your passwords, whether that's your finance, I certainly have my banking on my phone, your social media account, in the future maybe detailed medical information. How are we going to ensure that all of that is securely maintained? Because if we can't have that security, then you can't have privacy. And that's what we believe that the consumer is going to increasingly value over time. So we have to focus on that. There is a huge noise in the world around security right now. Absolutely massive, whether it's ransom and cyber attacks, IoT security nightmare, how are we going to secure all the endpoints if there's going to be, as we do by 2035, 2040, 1 trillion endpoints? How do you get to protection, right? And how do you prevent those denial of service attacks? How do we do this? Huge increases, huge costs are associated with security and cybercrime. And I was reading even over the weekend that one of the major data centers in the US was subjected to a ransomware attack on Friday. And this is the kind of thing that we have to be careful about. We can't solve it all at once. We certainly can't solve it just as ARM, but we need a whole industry approach to providing scalable security. Now, what ARM can do is we can look at the hardware and software that we design and say, how can we provide better security? So with the Matterhorn generation of CPU, we're introducing some brand new security capabilities. Secure EL2 is an exception layer that provides security so we can run managed kernels inside the device. Many of you will have heard of Spectre and Meltdown, and what we've introduced is 2 technologies called pointer authentication and branch target identifiers. They're strong protection against the side channel attacks that you've seen recently. And the latest technology that we've co-developed with Google, for example, is the memory tagging extension. For those of you that are interested in this, memory tagging enables us to detect memory safety vulnerabilities. For me, it's like a lock and key. What you do is you lock the memory, and then you have a cryptographic key on the memory pointer, and you only make sure that you can unlock it. So here we have this whole process around memory tagging extensions in Android that can help solve maybe 70% of the typical memory safety violations that you see today. As I said earlier, being able to do that is one thing, but we have to make this technology available to the developers. So in terms of what software developers out there, according to the data that we searched out on Evans Data, there are 23 million software developers in the world. That's professional. There are unknown millions more who are, say, hobby programmers. What we're trying to do is build that ecosystem to unleash that greater performance from silicon. We want to be able to do that performance by default. We're working with partners in our ecosystem, such as Unity in the game engine space, such as Kubernetes and Docker in the server space, to ensure that all of the applications that are available run natively on in the right architectures. We're offering tool chains where maybe there's virtual prototypes to reduce time to market, focusing on that software development problem that's going to be there in the future. And the objective here is that software developers have fewer tools to learn. Our objective at the end of the day is that for our technology, for the future, the total compute approach has to be able to simplify security, improve performance and efficiency, enable faster software bring-up, and give developers access to that performance more easily. So change of tack. So that's mobile. Let's just change of tack. So 5G is a huge challenge and opportunity for the industry. It's really going to change how data is evolving. The rise of data and the rise of 5G is impressive. 5G networks are emerging all over the world. There are hundreds. We expect, I think there's over 80 already in operation. It's changing every day. We have seen a huge increase in this industry, and through 2020 and driven by the Olympics, we can see a whole increase in the in network. But 5G will change the way the infrastructure is constructed. Because our prediction is that there will be over 1 trillion connected devices by the mid-2030s. There are up to 1,000 commercial deployments around the world, and as many as 80 operators we just talked about seriously engage. We have to figure out how to support this, and our answer is a new layer of intelligence that's got to exist between the edge and the cloud. Because today's cloud is largely constructed to deliver data in one direction. But with 5G and the trillion devices connected to it, we're going to see data coming into the cloud. And that's going to be too expensive to route all the way back to the cloud center. So we're going to have to do more processing at the edge. That's a fundamental premise. And that layer of intelligence is something that we started talking about as ARM over many years ago. And we made concrete last year with the announcement of ARM Neoverse. Now, what we're going to see at the network edge is a real evolution, okay? And there's a real opportunity for compute at the edge. We already have kind of sophisticated equipment doing network function management at the edge, enabling software-driven virtualization of these data workloads. Now, the evolution of edge compute takes this to a new level, with AI being used to analyze the data flows. And we see the intelligent distribution of data being done wherever it makes sense to process it, whether that's in the cloud or at the edge or even on device. So powerful AI in the network opens up new opportunities. And what we can see is 5G will reduce the latency to edge servers, right, in cell towers. And that gives us the chance to offload AI processing from the cloud and give greater choice in how devices run their workloads. This is the AI edge. And Arm have a project across the industry with a range of partners to enable us to deploy cloud-native software closer to the edge. Once again, this is a focus on the ecosystem, focus on the developers. How can we enable existing applications or new applications that run on existing code bases to be delivered in different spaces? And the key things that we think are necessary are platform standards and reference systems that can run a cloud-native software stack with a platform security architecture for a secure infrastructure edge. And the key here is to securely deploy cloud-native software at the edge. And if we can do that, then we can transform the compute capability and create more opportunity for more players into that space than there is today. And that's what sits in front of the ARM ecosystem for everyone engaged. Now, the second evolution, and I'm going to ask forgiveness for here, is earlier this week, traditionally ARM is seen as a low power and high performance processing environment, but we're changing that. And earlier this week on Tuesday, Amazon announced the provision of the Graviton 2 processor in the cloud, giving significant performance uplift. And the key thing here is this is a true cloud processor, and they see a number of spaces where the application space for this will be delivered, whether that's across web and gaming service, HPC, analytics, open source databases. This is where the revolution truly starts, where we bring that high performance, high energy efficiency into the cloud. So the opportunity is there for more partners and more capability to be delivered right into the cloud as long as we can maintain that software ecosystem and that compatibility. And that's what we've done, and that's what AWS have done amazingly. So we talked about mobile, we've talked about cloud, edge, AI, so much technology, but let's just have a think about what autonomous vehicles are. Autonomous vehicles are the application of intelligence at network edge. They're another edge device, they're a very complex edge device, and they're almost a supercomputer. To get towards autonomous vehicles from where we are today, it's going to take a change in the way we think. So let's just have a quick think around what the evolution of the autonomous car is. These are the SAE levels of autonomy, right? They're all important. In my rental car that I hired in the US to go on vacation last summer, I had level 2 plus, right? Which is kind of, I was able to take my feet off and just steer. So it was okay. And it kind of judged the distance of the car in front of me. Now, getting today from level 1, which is my son's car, right? Really basic vehicle, no technology whatsoever, all the way up through partial automation, cruise control, conditional automation, maybe lane switching, judging the distance, lane keep, that kind of stuff. That's okay. We can do that with today's level of compute. But getting to level 4 where we can take our eyes off the road, that is another step. And we're going to have to do, as we talked about with total compute, there has to be a change in philosophy and understanding how we're going to be able to deliver that. Level 4, we'll see a lot of level 4, we will see a lot of level 3 automation coming right now into the industry. But the difference between level 4 and level 5 is really, really different, right? Level 4 is pretty much a self-driving car where you can take your eyes off. Level 5 is full automation where you can actually not pay attention whatsoever. And that's going to need lots of sensors and lots of different ways of doing this. Where are we today? We're here, right? This is the kind of technology that's in the trunk of a vehicle that is used to develop the autonomous compute capabilities. This is hundreds of watts, kilowatts of stuff. It's a test bed. It generates far too much heat. It's not really deployable. I mean, you can't put your luggage in the back for a start. And there isn't really a safety protocol that's been developed for autonomous yet. That's an ethical problem, a legal problem, an insurance problem, and a technical challenge that still awaits us all. So we have to try and understand how we're going to get from there to a deployable capability. And to get to a deployable system without even a safety driver, which they do today, requires scalable high-performance compute. We're going to have to reduce the power by over 10 times. We're going to have to reduce the cost to make it deployable at scale. And we're going to have to bring safety into the compute at a really low level. And ARM have been working really hard with the rest of the industry to make sure that we are creating safe CPUs at a core level. So all of our CPUs now have safety qualifications associated with them. So your smartphone is a really cost-effective compute device. We're in compute-intense servers, and we need to bring in the safety to make sure that we've got that capability. Again, common theme. How do we access the ecosystem? How do we create the opportunity for the software ecosystem to access this performance, this capability? We have to think about how we're building a software stack, how we're doing both providing opportunity for both the commercial tool chains and commercial software providers who already exist in this space and have lots of business and lots of opportunity. How can we grow theirs? But also, we're very keen, actually, on creating and supporting the open source community, because that's how developers think, and that's how we're going to do. By some estimates, it's going to take 1 billion lines of code to get to level 4 and most of level 5. You can see how there's many different stack components, and it's really complex. But ARM, we're thinking about the whole of the ecosystem and how we do this. So collaboration is key across this industry with everyone here. And earlier this last month, we announced the Autonomous Vehicle Compute Consortium. This is an industry body whose goal is really different to most industry bodies. It's about pulling some of the leaders in autonomous compute together It's about helping to accelerate the delivery of safe vehicles. And the key point in the middle is a common compute architecture for autonomous driving. And developing that is going to take us some time, and we have to be there, and we will be publishing the results of all of this work for everybody. This is not an ARM standard. This is a generic approach to how we solve compute for the future. So we covered a whole bunch of stuff so far, and the last topic I'm going to cover today is a little bit of IoT. Physical data meets digital data. That's Cambridge, by the way, in the background, which is where I'm based. So there's a whole range of data. As we move towards 1 trillion deployed sensors and devices, 1 trillion connected devices in 2035, we can see that this physical data and digital data are going to merge. We're going to have to try and see how we can deliver developer support everywhere. I mentioned earlier the AI continuum, right? So I'm back there again. AI is a big motivator. It began in the cloud with big fat algorithms, and we've seen it shift. Not only has it spread from its first home, it's gone to the edge, and it's now rolling into the endpoint. And I'd like to talk about, just finish on how AI at the endpoint is important. The evolution of the network will be huge. Biggest change, we think, is going to be an endpoint AI. A raft of new AI devices, and here's a great example, just using something that we can see today. This is a real device. What it does is detecting water flow, right? It's a water pipe monitoring system, and it's been used to spot leaks and stagnating water that might cause bacterial outbreaks in hospitals and care homes, right? So it's checking your water pipes, making sure it's safe. It's a real good example of technology and AI coming into the real world. But there was a problem. The first device, the one on the left, ran its signal processing and ML in the gateway and in the cloud. So basically, it was communicating all the data back to the cloud, and in the process, its battery life, therefore, was measured in weeks. So as an IoT device, it just didn't work. It couldn't be deployed at scale and largely forgotten. So they replaced the original design with the next generation AI device, and by running processing and ML on device, they increased the life from weeks to years. And this is the step, and this is the difference that AI and ML can make in our world. So, AI and IoT, huge improvement. This is an Economist report showing that 82% of companies say IoT physical data is pivotal and important to the cloud. I fully expect 2020 to be a tipping point for IoT as more of these companies shift into implementation. Okay? Now, our role in this as ARM is actually at the endpoint sensor. We have developed a way of enabling really low-cost, low-power Cortex-M powered devices at the edge, at the endpoint, and allowing customization without fragmentation through an introduction of a technology we call ARM Custom Instructions that allows partners to customize the instruction set just for their technology and yet retain a standard software development environment. So I'm going to wrap pretty much. There's a big challenge, and Taiwan can play a huge part in this. As global industries rapidly transform with the new vertical applications that I've covered through today, there's technology such as AI, big data analytics, 5G. The government here is making a strong commitment of resources to promote the 5+2 pillar industry transformations. These 7 pillars include IoT, smart machinery, smart agriculture, green energy, biomedical, and circular economy. What's recognized here is that edge computing is a key value proposition, and we see ARM playing a pivotal role in this industry transformation with a lot of the Taiwanese industry. And this visit is providing me a really good opportunity to explore lots of further collaboration opportunities. So thank you very much. I think the summary for today very much is we've had a huge range of technology, and it shows the breadth of how ARM and how the industry is enabling compute everywhere. And to do that, we care about lots of things, whether it's total compute or whether it's the rise of AI at the edge or autonomy. There's a huge industry transformation taking place, and it's really exciting to be a part of it, and I'm really glad to be here in Taiwan talking about it. Thank you very much.
谢谢Ian精彩的演讲哦。他在非常短45分钟内的时间，要跟我们讲未来全球10年的重要的科技发展的趋势，还要跟我们谈在这个过程里面有哪一些半导体产业的产业链关系会发生变化。很紧凑，但是他给了我们很好的一个 map。那刚刚大家在看他的演讲的内容的过程，应该有感觉到一件事情，在未来的5到10年内，我们的生活方式会发生很大的改变。里面有一个很重要的技术上还有应用上面的变化，就是我们大概可见的未来哦，所有的东西全部都会连上网。那在这个联网的过程里面，我们能够想象的很多东西，因为它都需要算力。那在这个状况之下，边缘运算的能力，它跟 AI 的人工智慧的这个运算的需求，很多的edge 端的 device 这些设备们，它的半导体的这个相关的 component， 它的需求就会变得很不一样。那在这个过程当中，台湾就扮演一个非常重要的角色。台湾的半导体的制造业，它要怎么样去符应市场这样快速变化的需求？我们的制造业会怎么样改变？我们今天很高兴科技部特别邀请到力晶积成电子制造的董事长黄崇仁黄董事长，今天来到现场，在他非常忙碌的时间之内，给我们一个短讲。在这个短讲里面，黄董事长要跟我们谈一下。呼应刚刚Ian的演讲里面谈到的全球趋势，下一个10年，台湾的半导体产业要怎么样跟着这样的一个趋势一起改变这个世界？我们接下来就把时间交给黄董事长。
各位来宾啊，各位这个嘉宾，还有半导体界的各位同仁哦，谢谢科技部给我这个机会来讲这个台湾半导体如何改变世界哦。其实哦，大家现在都谈 AI、5G 哦、IoT 哦，那么从一个简单的 assumption 哦，5G 这些的应用是什么？第一个。大的 data，OK， 大的 data 是各位知道 ，Facebook、Amazon、这个 Google、阿里巴巴等等，他们把很多 data 拿来做重要的分析，把这分析再进入他们的整个 commercial application 哦，国家、政府、军事单位通通一样，所以我们的 data 的量越来越大。那第二个呢，就是我们的 processing，OK。那么这些很大的 processing， 很大 data 要用各种不同的 processing。刚刚我们的副总讲的就是很多要怎么去 processing 啊 ，OK？ 那 processing 的原则，第一个速度要快，但我们在电脑半导体，我们有一个很重要的一个原则是很困难要去克服。当你速度越来越快的话，你的 energy consumption 就越来越大。但是什么叫做？像各位看那个 GPU， 哇，速度很快，但是越来越热哦，你要散热。所以呢，在现在以前的 trend 是说大家速度越来越快，暂时不管 energy， 散热片了。可是它已经到一个瓶颈了 bottleneck， 你非处理这个热量不可哦。那么第三个 factor， 我们刚刚讲 data 量 processing。Energy consumption， 因为这 energy consumption 跟 process 是不能分开的哦。那第三个呢，就是通讯的。通讯其实是带头的， 所谓5G， 大家把 facility 做好，我们的通讯速度可能增加200倍。那这个就产生另外一个问题，就是我们的 processing 的速度没有办法 catch 这200倍的速度。我们的 processing 照Moore's Law 是慢慢的，其实有一点是算术级数的成长。这 Telecom 是几何级数的成长跳的。那个 Telecom 从1G、2G， 从2G、3G、4G、5G， 它的 processing 速度是 quantum jump， 都是100倍、几十倍。但是 CPU 你看，就从我们 Intel， 换句话说呢，通讯你从开始到现在呢，从最早电话到现在，你已经增加几个 billion times。但是 CPU 你仔细看，从 Intel 从第一颗 CPU 到现在只增加1000倍，那是根据 Moore's Law， 所以这两个有 gap。那这两个 gap 用什么来克服呢？当然你越想，用 CPU 的速度啊，怎么样来处理？但是你又产生热量怎么解决？它是一个很大问题，所以我们就用 shrink 的方式，哇，这个特别是台积电，它把这个从28、14、7、3。shrink 的时候呢，它就会，线跟线很短嘛，所以热量消耗就减少，这是一个重大的方式。但是还有一些不能克服的 factor 啊。那今天我来就跟谈一些我们在技术上的 innovation 啊，可以达到的未来效果。我们现在开始跟各位说明一下哦，那我的一些见解啊，很快的时间跟各位分享哦。那么刚刚讲的就是说。这个我们以前是用运算效能为核心但 data 量太大的时候呢，现在比较大的问题，为什么大家 edge computer？ 我们一个 server process 的能力，我们 edge 送出去的这两个能力都是算术级数的增加，没有 jump。但 data 一直出去，那请问一下 ，Intel 的 Neon processing 或是 ARM 刚刚提出来的。你没办法处理，所以 what happened？ 你这个 server 里面的 DRAM 的 buffer 越大，已经没有办法偷人。因为我做 memory， 所以知道这个问题存在，所以我们必须要改成一个 memory center。你要怎么样去迅速的处理资料，而不是运输资料？因为你现在很大的 data 已经不是处理的问题，处理完你换在那，你要code，你要很快的拿出来。这个等一下。稍微解释一下这个差别OK， 那各位看，这个当然是晶片的生产量CPU、FPGA， 这是一个参考，这个大家数目就总金额是增加的5000亿到这个地方 OK。但是我要讲一个很重要的东西在这里我想大家可能都没有注意到一个问题各位知道现在 AI Deep Learning 哇，这大家都是什么要取代人脑我为什么要讲这个数字要大家你等一下你看一下你要做一个 Deep Learning 的 process， 你消耗的能量是英文叫 horrendous OK。你看看这个人脑人脑的运作量25个瓦的电能，所以人类的脑筋的，我学医的efficiency 是远比电脑大太多。现在大家都要取代电 ，the only thing you really can do is supplemental human brain, not replace。我一直在强调，哇，大家各位看一个简单的东西各位知道那个 IBM 有一台 Blue 电脑，对不对？打那个 chess， 对不对？后来打赢了嘛各位想想看刚刚这样讲，下棋的那个 Cheskov， 他只要花25个瓦特，那一台 Blue 电脑花250个250万瓦来处理，它的 energy 是它的差不多10万倍I'm sorry， 这个光是只是消耗这个电量就没有办法处理，所以大家很伟大在讲 deep learning。我再看下一个 ，OK， take a look at this one。这个你看我们的 1年的才消耗，这个时候二氧化碳 carbon，OK， 消耗11,000就是1万1万磅。然后呢，一个汽车呢的 fuel 要用126,000磅，那么训练 AI， 各位看看哦，各位 AI 哦，它的排碳量5辆汽车626000。Facts is 我们不能全部靠 AI 啊，我们必须要把人脑跟 AI 加一起，因为 limit 就是 energy consumption。energy consumption 跟 speed 这2个我们刚刚讲过了 ，OK。好，那我们呢，力晶呢，跟我们的集团呢做一个架构，叫做 AIM。AIM 的意思就是 Artificial Intelligent Memory。各位看哦，这个下面这个是现在各位常用的 DRAM、MCU、WiFi， 它是一个板子。Intel 呢，从开始到现在。大概1970年开始到现在，这个各位的 PC structure， 这叫 von Neumann process， 没有改变过。你现在电脑打开，从我电脑，不管这个从最早的电脑，这个 structure 是没有改变的。那我们写这个没有 storage， 那力晶用全新的技术做一个叫做我们叫做 embedded memory 在 CPU。通常是这样，像我们倒过来叫做 embedded logic in CPU， 这个就是一个 embedded memory in CPU。我们把这一个东西呢变成一颗 chip，MCU DRAM 换成一个单一 chip， 就 embedded logic。那么这个东西以后呢，就产生一个很大的问题。各位，现在你做的电脑还是32 bit、64 bit， 啪啦啪啦啪啦，对不对？哦。现在呢，各位看这个屏关啊，没有 I/O 拿掉了，因为加坐在一起，所以它的屏关的 maximum 4696 bit，OK， 很大。这个数字呢，就是你32 bit、64 bit 的2的8次方倍。这是一个 von Neumann quantum jump， 就一下子就把宽屏打，宽屏打开，你就可以做很 broad。所以呢，它就是一个 CPU embedded， 第2个宽屏啊，第3个可以消耗能量。我们估计哦，这个 chip 的能量的消耗，大概是你们这个有 I/O 的这个消耗只有5%，它是一个不折不扣的 green chip。同样的 process， 它的消耗能量只有5%，OK。那这样子，因为没有 I/O， 所以它至少速度可以增加10倍 ，OK。但 embedded logic 在 memory 里面也有它的问题啦，哦，我不能说通通，它的速度大概我们可以到1G 啊，做了没有？第2个 memory 里面的 transistor 它是比较 weak， 我们当然用 existence， 我们现在在 improve， 但是它的制作上制成 process 上。它有很大的困难哦，因为那个做那个memory 的那个 process 哦，它的热量高到2000度，这个逻辑不行，所以这有很深的技术。我们公司engineer 很厉害哦，都像各位这样的 engineer， 就把它 overcome 哦，所以这个做得出来。但是呢 ，yet， 因为我们在做 embedded flash。MRAM、SRAM 做在逻辑，你们那是逻辑做，他们的 density 跟热量消耗都不是太大，但你把逻辑给做到，这是一个大工程，完全的大工程 ，OK。过去30年来没有人做得出来 ，to be honest，OK。然后呢，所以各位看了我们这个所有的功能呢，哦，全部放在一个 single chip， 哦，这个是。全世界上第一个、唯一的 ，OK。好，那现在这个做出来的这个 platform 呢，这个在 expandable memory 它可以做512、1G 一直到8G， 然后这个 chip 呢 通讯呢，你 onboard communication 你可以 Wi-Fi、Bluetooth、Zigbee whatever you want，OK。On-site 的 process 我们可以放 刚刚 ARM 的 process RISC-V x86 multiple parallel， 其他的公司你的 CPU 我们都可以放进去。你可以 design 一个 SOI， 我可以 SOC， 也可以放进去，但是它有它的 limit， 它不能做到这个 logic 不能做得太差不多相当于40奈米的逻辑。我们现在客户看可以做到28奈米 ，OK。好 ，next one。这个是利用我们的技术我们 AIM 的 memory 放进去，然后后面就还有一些AIM IP platform， 我们也自己 develop。那最后呢 ，AIM process 技术呢，这个是我们 unique。那么除了这个把 chip 整合在一起，还有一个技术叫做叠合现在我们跟像台积那家 co-work 应该是没有问题的，就是把 memory 叠在逻辑的下面，这样你就两个分开 process， 事实上你的 power 更大那我们比方说可以把你28奈米加上叠的 memory， 你可以做到14奈米的功能你就不10奈米做到7奈米，这是确定的但是我们还在 process， 所以呢，未来呢 integrate 这个 memory 跟这个 logic 成一个 chip是这个呢是在未来的 AI 呢非常重要，因为你可以把速度加快，然后你把 energy consumption 往下降这个才能达到。不管你讲的多 AI 怎么样都通通可以讲。我刚刚讲这个刚刚看到那个 deep learning， 因为大家都在讲AI 5G 那还有很重要，刚刚那个 chip 这个呢实际上是叫做 single chip computer， 那可以做什么？一个 chip 就可以做 IoT 你要做一个 IoT 一个 chip， 什么通通在里面。你现在做一个 IoT， 你要板子就买 memory、CPU、WiFi 全部和在一堆，对不对？因为它不可以在一个。这个以后你说 IoT 一个 chip， 那这个还有一个特色你可以在这个 memory 里面看你的那个 microprocessor 的 size 多大，你可以放4个。我们这里面就有一个是放4个M0 的 ARM 把它摆进去，work OK。所以呢，这是一个很大的突破。抱歉，这个东西就是台湾做的，就 made in 台湾，我们自己开发的Intel 没有任何什么别的东西不管你用 ARM 用 Intel， 一件事情，它都是 CPU。为什么叫 CPU？ 叫 Central Process Unit。所以你手机上面任何 data 进来要先进去 CPU 嘛 ，process 完了。可是如果我在我的 sensor 上面加了一个刚刚我们讲的那种所谓 AIM 加上去以后 ，data 进来就在那个位置上面 process 完了。比方说你现在照相，你还丢到 CPU， 你再传出去给什么 Facebook， 以后不用，以后你要照以前就上面做一个 mark 我要给 ABCD， 等到你照完直接传的，不必再洗，因为速度省很多时间了逐一来，所以这个叫做 on-site processing。on-site processing 意思说，你做机械，你看各位，我们有一个跳舞叫机械舞嘛 ，robot， 对不对 ？robot 给人家印象就是很硬嘛。我们希望英文叫 dexterity， 是每一个左、每一个 arm、每一个位置都可以放一颗，所以他的手就可以真的去炒菜。现在怎么炒菜？现在通通到 CPU。那我告诉各位这从医学观点讲CPU 跟我们的人脑最大的不一样 ，OK？CPU 一次只能做一件事情，这叫 mono， 你排队，对不对？那我这么讲，什么叫一次做一件事情？各位在飞机场排队的时候，我一个很快的速度传，但是有一堆人都在排，对不对？中间只要有一个人 passport 有问题，你就大家 stop， 不能动，对不对？因为前面没有出洋，后面不能做嘛。但是我把这一个 CPU 换成20个 input。20个小的 CPU input 的话，这个坏掉没关系，它19个继续进行嘛。所以我们未来的 data 量很大的时候，我们可以用这种我们刚刚这种方法做很多小 chip、小个 CPU 做 parallel processing。我可以换100个，这个可以叫做 parallel processing 100颗，甚至1000颗同时作用可以。CPU 只能一次做一个我跟你 compare 那要一次做500个，一做1000个。20个， 那各位 system engineer 是你们的事，我们只负责把 chip 做出来，让你们怎么去用哦。这是我认为未来。但是这个呢，这个 chip 的是开启一个，我们是希望 decentralize 所有的这个东西，使得你在做系统的时候，你可以来跟我们做 design service。跟力晶，我需要这样的一个 chip， 你做给我。刚刚跟各位讲，你要什么 chip， 你跟我讲，我做给你。你要2个 CPU、4个 CPU， 你要用 RISC-V， 你要用 ARM， 你要用 X86， 或者你要用上面要 Bluetooth， 你来跟我讲，我做给你。所以你只要把你的系统决定了，你告诉我做给你。过去没有这样的东西，大家都买一个标准的 ARM CPU， 对不对？你去买，现在你告诉我做给你。That's what the next will be。所以你做系统，你就可以 follow 这样的东西去做。这是我认为对台湾的产业是一个很大的机会。各位，现在很多人想要你们学校毕业就想公司上班以后就我要独立创业。那独立创业很简单，因为你做出来的不管 hardware 跟 software 都是你的。现在做出来只有 software 是你的 ，hardware 是别家的。你一定要在 standard chip 上面来做，以后不用你告诉我做什么。因为那一颗是你的，别人是不会有的。That's its difference。OK， 这个是一个蛮重要的一个未来式的观念。你看，作为很多年轻人，你未来你可以 tune 你的 chip， 跟你的 system 是你的。我们现在在做很简单，我们做几家公司，这个 design 他告诉我了，那我就做他的 design， 那 process 是我家的。在同样的 process 做出来。这刚才讲这个欧美跟我们自己公司做的，还有别家公司要做，他甚至可以有一家公司来做叫 N 公司，他是做5000个 output 在上面做5000个 output。各位 ，NVIDIA 才500个 output， 他做5000，用我技术可以做，他是每一个理论上它是每一个小的 processor 加一个 memory， 它可以做到5000个，然后它可以一次它的最大的 output。他跟我讲的是5000个 bit per second， 那是世界纪录了，比 NVIDIA 还快。那个就是设计嘛，所以如果我们把设计开放给大家，照大家的意思，我现在讲的都是各种不同的公司来跟我讲，我要这个我做给你嘛，这个出来就是你家。那怎么发生呢？因为这几家公司，这个刚刚讲 ARM 它是做 memory， 但是我刚刚讲一家 N 公司，它呢是要做 server 用的 special system。所以他有这个软体，我不知道他软体是怎么样的，可是他来叫我做这个 chip fit 他的软体，这个是各位未来的下一步的生意是可以这样做，所以做出来别人根本不能考你软体，我会考你的，但是你 chip 跟软体整合没有办法考的了 ，OK， 所以 can unique product， 这是我们目前 develop， 那希望国内各界呢能够这样来开发，我们给下一个新的世纪，每一个人都可以做重要的东西，好不好？谢谢大家，今天捡一个经验，好不好？谢谢。
谢谢黄董事长的短讲，但非常的精彩。大家有没有意识到，其实刚刚这个Ian在他的演讲里面所提问的一些问题，包含耗能的问题，包含怎么样用更弹性的方式提供设计的环境来解决我们现在能够想象的新的沉浸式体验这样的 AI 人工智慧时代的来临。刚刚黄董事长在他非常简短的20分钟的演讲里面，用力晶已经研发出来的一个新的晶片的架构，其实已经多层次的回答了刚刚的很多的提问，也就是说，其实台湾的半导体产业的制造业的业者们、工厂们，其实已经看到这些问题，而且也已经尝试着回答这些问题，甚至已经提出了很多很不错的解决方案。那今天呢，我们前面的演讲呢就到这边结束，接下来我们要进入到今天的第2个阶段。